Um, we've got a lot of really cool stuff to share with you all today. And I'm excited that I get to give this update from Nashville, sitting across from Ian. I think the this is a product update. We're doing these once a quarter, and we're doing them intentionally so that you can, as both customers and people evaluating our software, you can keep up with what we're building. I will tell you all from somebody that's been in the residential real estate industry for 25 years, and the last decade really sitting at the nexus of technology and our industry, more has changed in the first 3 months of 2026 than probably in any year or maybe 5-year time span that I've ever seen building technology. We're going to take you through some things today, and you're going to be impressed. We're going to show you some stuff that we're working on for the future that a bunch of you are going to text me and ask you how you get access to. And like, don't worry, we'll get you there. But there's one overarching thing I want you to take away right now. And there's well over 100 people on this call. If you are an individual agent, the leader of a team, the leader of a brokerage or a market center, or even part of the corporate team, the world and the throughput of humans has forever changed. If you look around the room at your team right now, if you look at the employees in your organization, if you look at your own personal productivity, if your personal productivity has not increased by at least 3 to 5 times in the last 12 months, something is wrong. You are not paying attention. This is your call to action. Like, this is me grabbing you by the shoulders and shaking you. And I had this conversation with a large broker owner earlier this week. And, they're like, Jeremiah, we have 200 agents. We only have 8 employees in the brokerage. They're really struggling to figure out how to get everything done. And I said, look, maybe you don't realize we are building a company that is transforming the way that residential real estate works in America. We're onboarding almost 1,000 people a week to our platform. In the last 3 months, we have shipped 428,000 lines of code. There are 7 people that work at this company. That is the thing that AI is changing. And so if you're looking around the room at your real estate brokerage, your mortgage company, your team, whatever it is, and it kind of looks the same as it looked a year ago, this is your wake-up call. It should not. You need to get high agency, AI native people inside of your company that are taking advantage of this technology because they can do more, exponentially more, not a little bit more. But most importantly is that they can do it in less time and they can have better quality of life. So we definitely want you all to have more time, have more freedom, have more quality of life, and make more money. And so this is going to be a good demo today that will take you end to end through things. For you all that are in the chat and you're already asking questions, I really appreciate that. Please keep those coming. Drop them in the Q&A. I will do my best to answer all of them. But here we go. Let's go for a little bit of a ride of everything that we have built. So the last one that we did of these was December 18th, 2025. And so what I want to share with you is since December 18th, 2025, our 3-person engineering team has shipped 477 pull requests. That means individual pieces of work that they have worked on to improve or do different things inside of BrokerBot. 477 in 3 months. They wrote 456,000 lines of code and replaced 23,000 lines of code. So that means our BrokerBot code base grew by 428,000 lines of code in the last 3 months. Ian's sitting here. In the old days, how big would an engineering team have to be to ship 500,000 lines of code in a quarter?
40.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear him at 40, we're doing that with 3. It is literally 10x productivity. They've touched every part of the platform. We are working on some really cool new stuff that I'll talk about at the end. We've shipped multiple CRM integrations. We have made significant upgrades to our ability to send and receive emails. We've made a bunch of amazing upgrades to SMS and voice. We've added voice input. We've updated the knowledge and ingestion architecture. So many of you have written us saying like, oh my gosh, knowledge-based search, I like the ability to retrieve docs. That stuff has improved massively. That's full-time machine learning work from our team making that all happen. We've added a new web crawling agent that has the ability to punch through CAPTCHAs and resolve complex CAPTCHAs. We're going to show you today that we have Canva now integrated and what that can do. We've built all sorts of back-end infrastructure to support usage-based billing so we can monitor and make sure that we're optimizing token cost and doing everything we can to keep costs down. We've made hundreds of updates to the way that the chat stream works in the UI. We've upgraded the chat widget significantly. The web crawler has some new scoping stuff that we're going to go through. We've added over 20 core compliance skills, 9 new eval suites specifically around real estate regulation, dozens of new tools inside of our admin tools. And I mean, like just dozens of tickets on infrastructure, observability, just making the platform more performant, more reliable, and so that it can move faster. That's in the last 3 months. And so what I want to show you all today are how some of those things kind of materialize in the product for you. But before I dig straight into that, I want to start with something that's really cool. Now, you all, if you've been on a demo with me, you've heard me say that we use our own technology to measure the effectiveness of all of the different models that are out there. And so, Kyle, and by the way, if you don't mind, will you drop your video so that I'll go full screen? That way, when I screen share, it'll go for everybody. You can just turn your video off. Perfect. Thank you. And now it's really weird because I'm just talking to myself. So I wish you would have stayed, but instead I'll talk to Ian, who's across from me. So what you've heard us talk about is these eval suites that we've added so that we can measure the effectiveness and accuracy of these models. Well, we've made a decision that we're going to publish those, and Ian has turned those into a product that we actually call BrokerBench. And so this is the first time that we are showing this publicly. And so what we did here is we took a 163 question multiple choice test, the same thing that you all had to go take when you got your real estate license, and we gave it to all of the leading frontier models. This is how it stacks up. And what this shows is that as a simple thing of just a multiple guess test, that BrokerBot outperforms all of the frontier models alone because of the way that we evaluate and guide the machine for accuracy. And I'll tell you that 3 months ago, we were like at parallel with Gemini 2.5 Pro, where it is today, but Gemini 2.5 Pro didn't exist 3 months ago. So we will continue to get better at this. We're going to be publishing this as an open repo on or open source deal on GitHub so that other developers can benchmark against our testing suite. And we have dozens, thousands of these things that run out in the world that evaluate the model's performance for image generation, PDF extraction, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought it'd be fun to start there with BrokerBench. It's a really cool thing if you're nerdy and you like want to prove mathematically that you can do things better than other people. And that's definitely something that we want to continue to do and lead on. The second thing is if you are a leader or an agent, we have put together operations playbooks. So what we did is we used our technology. BrokerBot's now processed over 500,000 conversations. It's crazy to think about. This was a little more than an idea a year ago. And today, 23,000 agents, over 500,000 conversations. This is how you all are using it. So leaders that you're trying to figure out how to help your agents adopt BrokerBot, ask our team for this guide. It's in our knowledge base in Intercom. Agents that are in an office that your brokerage just gave you BrokerBot, you just got a superpower. It's up to you and your leaders to help you learn how to use it. There's some really good case studies in here of what are people doing, how can you do these things, and how will we continue to make the team smarter over time. Also this quarter, we unlocked for the first time the ability for individual agents to sign up on their own. So if your broker isn't willing to foot the bill, you can sign up yourself. And so this guide is for you. Literally, this is the AI team that you didn't have yesterday, you will have today when you go sign up. So these are all available. They're all in our intercom library. They're there for you. Specifically for our Keller Williams leaders, we have a leadership panel next week of how some of the top market centers are using our technology and implementing it. If you have not registered for that, please register. If you are not a Keller Williams leader, you're still welcome to attend. We will send that out to you. But our job now is to help you weaponize this ultra powerful piece of information or piece of technology rather that we have built for you. So Brett, Intercom Library, when you're in the tool at the top left, there's a little life ring that says support. Hit that. That takes you into Intercom and you'll find it right there. And that's probably a perfect segue to start to jump into some of the upgrades that we've made. Brett, thank you very much. All right, so let me screen share. I'm going to drop back over to my Google Chrome. Hang on, give me just a second. I got to find the right Google Chrome. This is what happens when you have too many tabs open. And Max would be so happy right now because I constantly give him a hard time about the number of tabs that he has open. All right, so for those of you that are seeing BrokerBot for the first time, this is our homepage experience. We're going to go a little bit backwards before we go forwards, and I'm going to talk to you about some upgrades that we've made along the way. So when you first log in here, we call these workflow tiles. Today, these workflow tiles are set by us, and we can take them out if you want them to. We can customize the name, etc. I will give you a sneak peek. We are working on some new technology so that you can build your own workflow tiles and customize this homepage. If we have enough time, I might even ask Ian to show that off for you a little bit. Number two, we make the machine smarter in 3 ways. The thing where we started with BrokerBot was, can we train a machine to help be a team member inside of the brokerage and give it the ability to know everything about the brokerage in the same way that your internal employees do? And so here is a simple form. It's a W-9. When we onboard a brokerage, typically you're going to start with 3 to 5 documents. We have a new onboarding experience that we've built for brokerages. It helps you know what to upload when you onboard. And so what our technology does under the hood is it reads, what is this? It writes a description of it, and then we identify these key topics inside of the document, and then we both positively and negatively weight those topics so that we can tell the machine when to call on this document, but more importantly, when not to call on this document. Now, if you ever find that BrokerBot is not retrieving something when you think it should, or not referencing it the right way, you as an admin of the platform have the ability to come edit these. Now, the second thing, and we added this was here before the last one of these that we did, but I want to remind you, this permission architecture lives everywhere in BrokerBot. In the old days, it was only in the Knowledge Center. Now this also lives in the web crawler and in training. So I want to make sure you understand how to use this. BrokerBot is an AI assistant that lives behind a phone number, on a website, in a chat widget, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so any member of the public that calls in, if you give a document or a piece of knowledge public access, a BrokerBot will have the ability to use that to serve the person it's speaking with. Internal means that we're going to first authenticate the person talking to BrokerBot with their either email or phone before we give them this info. And then private gives you the ability to scope that information all the way down to an individual user or using the groups feature that we launched late last year. The groups feature is infinitely configurable. So you'll see Kyle has a team here in our platform. Kyle is the team leader. We can add other agents to it as members. If you're on our Teams webinars, what you saw is Kyle will actually have access to all the chats of the agents in his team in the same way that you do as an account owner, but it'll only be scoped to him. So groups are a way for us to map knowledge to people, okay? The second way that we make the machine smarter is through web crawl. Now, this is a real-time web crawl agent. We actually use 3 of them in the back end. As websites get smarter and come along, We have had to make a bunch of updates to this. If you haven't looked at this page in a minute, it looks completely different. Number one, we now give you the ability to toggle on and off the default domains. So if you want to further tighten where BrokerBot can and can't go, you can do that here. Number two, you can now turn web crawl off completely. If you don't want it to work at all, you can turn it off. You can still add domains here, and the core premise is the same, which is that when you have websites that are here, these are resources that BrokerBot can use. And I just want you to like quickly look at some of these. KW.com, answers.kw.com. Those now, if you're a Keller Williams franchisee, those get auto added. We're working on doing the same for Coldwell Banker, Better Homes and Gardens, all the franchise sites, Next Home, et cetera. But I also have our local tax assessor. I have the county recorder. I have the utility providers, HOA companies. Because as BrokerBot gets better at being able to use the web, which our web agent can now punch through CAPTCHAs and some like soft login stuff to get deeper, it's able to get more and more info. And there's a world where in the next few months, you'll be able to say, can you give me all the permit records for this property? And it'll be able to go navigate the web and do that for you. So I want you to learn how to use this. This is also brand new, this group scoping. What group scoping allows you to do is give a mapping. So let's say that your brokerage is big, like Go Network, and you are part of 50 to 100 MLSs. We can create 50 to 100 different groups for each of those MLSs, and then we can upload the domains to these groups for each of the support websites for those different MLSs. That way, as your agents start to ask questions where they need help from those MLSs, BrokerBot is going to know to go to the right domain to retrieve that information for them because it's in the allow list. So when you create those groups, there's also a thing we added here where it will auto create the knowledge base folders as well. So know that groups and all that scoping has gotten quite a bit more powerful now that we've added that in the web crawler. Now, the third way that we make BrokerBot smarter is through training. And so what I want you to remember about training is that training can be used for any sort of natural language instruction, but the superpower of training is to get it to use all of the different tools that we have inside of the platform. So in our test account here, we've come up with a file turn-in protocol, and we have scoped this at the bottom. We've approved it, and we've scoped it in the same way to say this is only for our agents. So you could do the same thing and have different protocols for different teams. You can have different rules. Anything that you want to tell BrokerBot in natural language, you can tell it here, and it will be able to make utility of all the different tools that it has, okay? Now, I also want to point out escalations. You can turn this on or off. What this does is this generally allows people to say, I need a human, I need help, and then you can choose who is it going to ping when they say they need help, and then you can even create tickets in Zendesk, etc. Next thing I want to show you. So those are the 3 ways we make BrokerBot smarter. There's 5 ways people talk to BrokerBot. Number 1 is through the chat widget. We've made a huge amount of upgrades to this, okay? So you can always change the colors. Now you can change the text, and you can enable authentication. So what that means is that when you put the chat widget out on your public website or on your internal private website, it's going to ask people to log in. When they sign in, it's going to now follow the permissions tree inside a BrokerBot the way that you would expect it to, instead of it just being simple internal, external. That's something that we had been saying is coming for a long time, and it is now live in your account. Also, thanks to Jeff Hickey of Go Network, we gave you the ability to animate a custom icon. So he has Gobi like dancing when you turn this thing on and off. And then you can also make it so that you can put a web link in here. So if you want BrokerBot to, So if you want BrokerBot to tell people, hey, click here to go to the web, like click here to log in on the web or whatever. We built this because Baird and Warner asked for it because they have this embedded in their marketing center, and they want to easily be able to click from here back into BrokerBot on the web so people can do virtual staging. You can also now enable page targeting, meaning like if you have a back office system where you're installing this, you can say, hey, only show it on this pages or show it on all pages except this. And so that way the widget doesn't display on a site that might be available to the public. So tons of upgrades inside the chat widget here. A lot of people are embedding this inside of like Circle and Pumble and other chat tools and on their websites. And now that we have Auth, it's a really powerful tool. And you can stretch your brain into the future that if you know who you're talking to, could you potentially capture leads and convert consumers? You get where we're going. Slack, we've made some light upgrades to that. Not a lot of you use Slack. What we're going to be working on this quarter is getting Google Chat and Microsoft Teams in here with Slack. So those are soon to come. Hotline. You all know that BrokerBot has a hotline. This phone number is dedicated to your office. We authenticate everybody that calls into it and texts into it based on what they do. One of the biggest upgrades that we have made is in the way that BrokerBot handles three-way text messages. And so how many of you, raise your hand or type in the chat if you have tried to three-way text BrokerBot with somebody else in your office? Anybody? Yep. Brian. Okay. So Brian, of course, is the power user. If y'all don't know Brian, yeah, same with Jason. All right. My two power user buddies are on here that are like cranking. Now, I want to show you what's possible. This is me texting Maximo. Now, keep in mind, Max and I both have the Google integration turned on. And so BrokerBot is synced with our Google calendars. So I group text BrokerBot with Max and I say, hey, BrokerBot, I have Max CC'd here. Look at both of our calendars for the next time we can meet for 30 minutes. BrokerBot goes, looks at both of our calendars and says, looks like you're both available Friday at 3:50 or today after 5. I say, yeah, today after 5 works. It goes, great. Here's the event preview. I say, whip it. Done. Meeting is set on our calendar. Inside your team, do you have a group MMS going with BrokerBot where it's connected to all of your calendars and all of your emails, and it's just a group chat where BrokerBot is running inside the chat, helping you schedule and do things every single day? If not, this is your like, go set that up. Now you got to remember that in order for that to work the way that I just showed you, you need to make sure that you have your phone number and your email all verified. So phone number here, if you have a green check mark on your profile page, you're good to go. Make sure you set your time zone. And then, by the way, if you want to make sure you're getting emailed for training center updates, you can flip that on or off here. I'm on a lot of teams, so I have mine off because my inbox gets blown up. All right, that is MMS SMS updates. I talked about chat widget updates. I want to show you all something. This is where we're going to start to get interesting. If you haven't logged in and clicked on this page in a minute, you're going to notice something has changed. There used to be a thing on here that said upgrade to Pro to turn on integrations. Our tech team figured out how to get the cost down enough on these, and we were able to cut a good enough business deal with these providers that integrations are now included for all users. I'll pause. I don't see, is anybody freaking out in the chat? Because you should be, because it was $200 a month for you to be able to do that. Okay, there we go. Now people are getting excited. They just clicked for everybody. So what that means is if you are part of a Keller Williams office, we have done a national deal. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to scroll that far. We've done a national deal with Keller Williams, and they have been very kind, I don't know, in changing the terms of their API agreement so that we can pay one flat fee for the entire country for Command. We're, as far as I know, the only company that has a deal like this. So all 146,000 agents in America can connect to Command, and we can make it work. So thank you to KW. Thank you very much to our tech team. So what that means is what I just showed you for that like Google connection, calendar, all that, every one of you can do this. So like if you're a broker owner and you're trying to schedule with your agents, just loop BrokerBot in. If you're both connected, it'll be able to do the work for you, okay? Now, some of you probably saw me sneak a little bit too far down here, and that gives you a little preview of something we've been working on that we'll talk more about in a minute. But integrations are now included. Also, you'll see Outlook is here. Outlook was not here anymore. Yeah, Melissa, you nailed it. So from the home page, how you get here is you're going to go settings, integrations. There's no paywall. You don't have to pay $200 a month. You should pass go and go hit these, turn these on. It's going to unlock some crazy stuff for you that I'm going to take you into. Before I get into that, I want to show you one other thing that we're working on in here. Well, there's two. One is we're continuing to expand our support libraries. I had a really great meeting with Scott Leroy last week. He works with him and Sostato, work with dozens of you or hundreds of you. Yes, integrations are not free. You have to have a BrokerBot subscription and somebody has to pay for it. But if your office is providing you with BrokerBot, then yes, integrations is included in that cost. So we're going to continue to expand these libraries. And now we're starting to bring in some external data. We are exploring with Corded right now what it looks like to have recruiting data in the platform. We're exploring some MLS data. It's very exciting what's possible. I'll give you a little preview as we get further along, but look for more and more things to come in here. Brian, yes, every agent can link their email to BrokerBot and have the ability to send emails via commands given in BrokerBot. Yes. Michelle, if you got a bug in Outlook, it happens. It's software. What I want to tell everybody on here is when you have a problem and BrokerBot does something that you don't expect it to do, please go in the tool exactly where you're having the problem and click support and file a ticket from here and ask a question or open a ticket, because when you do that, it creates a little cookie for your session and it tells us exactly where you were so that we can help you solve it. When you hop out and you go send us an email, then we have to go do a bunch of detective work to find you. So if you will please just use this support thing in the product and send us a message through this, it gives us a much better way to support you. You get faster support, okay? So let's go through a couple of things that are in here. Gotcha. Okay, Brian's excited. Number two, we snuck this in. I don't know how many of you all see this, but it's pretty cool. And a bunch of you have been asking about this, so it's there now. By the way, this will help you all prompt better if you use the little microphone. So know that the microphone is there. Use the microphone to prompt. It will make you a better prompter and you will ask better questions. So make sure that you do that. Next thing I want to show you. Let me keep going. Hold on. I got to find my right thing. I got out of sequence. Where's the thing I was looking for? No. All right, hang on. I got to stop screen sharing for a minute and I got to go find the thing that I was looking for. One of the things, oh, I see why I got off of it. One of the things that we did is we made a major upgrade to the way that virtual staging works and just really image gen in total. And so when you look at some of, where did this go? I swear that I did this morning as a thing to show you, and I must have done it in a different account and now I can't find it, so I'm sorry. What I wanted to show you is that you can now virtually stage multiple images at once. And so I think we're just going to do this live together and we will come back to it because I seem to have lost the window that I did this in. So this came from our friends in New York at Engel & Volkers. That's Donald and his team. And one of the things that they asked us is they said, hey, we're trying to work on multiple photos at once. And so now I can come in here and I can say, hey, I want you to change the paint color on the wall of all these photos from green to Sherwin-Williams Natural Choice. I think the paint code is SW7011. And so I'm giving it all these images at once, and it's going to go through and it's going to do this. All right. While it works on this, we're going to go do something else, which this is also a best practice that I want to give you. is that you can actually let BrokerBot run, and if you leave the tab open, it'll keep doing its thing, and then we can go do something else. I want to show you a power prompt for training. So here I'm primarily talking to leaders and account admins, all right? I clicked on my mic and I said, I want you to write a custom prompt that will follow our file turn-in process and do some magic when the agent invokes the prompt. The prompt should extract all the key information from the contract they upload, retrieve relevant contact info for parties from their connected email, contact or CRM accounts, pull available info from the property in the contract, from the web or the connected MLS, then act as a transaction coordinator, which includes emailing a copy of the PDF contract, which, by the way, we made a massive upgrade to email that when you include a PDF attachment here and you use the Gmail, it'll send it with the attachment right through BrokerBot. I will same to the mortgage partner, open escrow if there is one, and then write emails to the client who the agent represents as their TC explaining the process and what to expect, as well as putting all the key dates into their connected calendar with a 24-hour reminder one day before. Pause. Two things I want you to take away. One is, I don't know the right prompt to write, and neither do you. So stop trying to write it. Ask the machine to help you write the prompt. Tell it what you want it to do. And so here what you'll see is BrokerBot wrote this prompt, and it wrote a really good prompt of how it's going to do this, how it's going to do the contract, how it's going to enrich the property, how it's going to draft the emails, what it's going to do. Then I said, also email a copy of the contract here and let them know that it'll be automatically uploaded to SkySlope for review for them. Boom, boom, boom. So it rewrites it. And I said, yep, make the command FTP. All right. If you're an account owner, now you go to training, you find that training, you approve that training, and you apply it. Now, here's what happens for your agents. So agents, you need to go bug your leaders to do this sort of stuff, because what I did is I uploaded a sample contract. This is the same thing that you get every time that you do an escrow, and you end up with this thing in your email. So there's a world where you even say like, hey, BrokerBot, go look at my email. I just got a contract, grab the attachment and do an FTP for me. You can do that. Or you upload it here and you just say FTP, and it's going to invoke that protocol. And so it's going to extract all the info. It's going to find all the relevant parties. It's going to find the closing date and all the people that are involved. It's going to find all the key dates from the contract, figure out who the brokers are. And then it says, great, this is good. I got what I need. Do you want me to go to step 2? I say, yes. Now here you're seeing it goes, I love that the balloons keep going. Step 2 is it's going to go pull in command and follow-up boss, because I have them both connected to this account and in my Gmail, and it's finding everybody's contact info. So I no longer have to go run all this stuff down. Step 3 is it's going to go to the web and it's doing a bunch of property research, including photos, public records, and now it's drafting emails. So this is actually going to email escrow with a copy of the contract and open escrow. Number 2, it's going to email my client, tell them what's next. And number 3 is it's going to ask me more questions. So there's no lender, it's a cash sale. So then it creates the events. I said, show me the events first. I accidentally clicked stop. And then I said, resume. So it goes through, it writes all the key events and then gives me the 24-hour reminders. If I say go and I have my email and my calendar connected, I'm done. This took 3 minutes from my cell phone while I was on a treadmill this morning. It is the most crazy powerful technology. And this is why we turned on these integrations for everybody, because now you can do exactly what I just showed you. And yes, it is being recorded, Bobby. And what that means is you will be able to just like do these things. TCs that are on this call, don't freak out. It just means that you get to do 10 times as many files that you're charging for in like 90% less time. This is what's possible when you start to use this technology. So can BrokerBot redact client information if we need to send a copy of the inspection report to the MLS as a supplement? No, that's a really interesting idea though, Randy. Maybe, I don't know. I've actually never tried that. It's an interesting idea. So this is your workflow partner. It's going to do this stuff for you. The thing I want you to remember is BrokerBot is enterprise grade software. We don't share this information. We store it privately. It's not allowed to be used for training data for the future models. So you can safely do this stuff in here, and we are continuing to connect the world in the way that all this goes. So let's go back to our staging flow. This is amazing. Look, I gave it 6 photos. It redid all 6 photos, knocked them out for me, and gave them to me. That's a massive upgrade. Also, by the way, we plugged in Gemini 3.0 Pro. Yeah, so Marilyn, if you don't see the things on the left side, that means that you're probably a member and not an owner. And so you'll need to talk to your leadership. Um, Look, y'all, the thing I want to tell you is, yes, Joseph, we can give you a copy of it, but what I want to impress upon you is like, I didn't write that prompt. BrokerBot wrote that prompt. I hit the uh hang on. I hit the voice button. Oh, darn it. I don't remember which one I was doing this with. I hit the voice button and I just started talking. And I said, this is what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. Write the prompt for me. And BrokerBot wrote the prompt. I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing because, Joe, as you just start talking to, and I just saw Joseph and I called you Joseph. Sorry, Joe. So just start talking to it. Tell it what you want it to do. It will write the best prompt. That, for all of you, that's what I want you to remember. All right, I'm at 40 minutes. I got to go faster because I got a bunch of other stuff to do. I want to come back here. EV team, thank you for pushing us to do this. Everybody else, all the stuff you're seeing that is enhancements that we have made, it comes from customer feedback. We love your feedback. Please keep your feedback coming so that we keep building awesome stuff. All right. Now, here's what I want to show you is possible as you start to put workflows together. This is for my Keller Williams Command folks. By the way, we quietly turned on the command integration for everybody. So if you're in a Keller Williams Market Center, you can just go turn that thing on. It's on. You can go connect it. It's going to work. It works awesome. But this is how I want you to think about how this works, which is that I went here and we were on a command integration call. And the way that this worked was the person said, hey, can this help me do the DTD2? And I was like, I don't know what the DTD2 is. I'm sorry. And then I Googled it. And when I Googled it, I found this. And so I was like, oh, this is actually kind of smart. It's like a lead gen thing. So I went to BrokerBot and I said, hey, I'm trying to do this D2, DT, whatever thing. Go read on it and help me. BrokerBot went to answers.kw.com, taught itself how to do it, and then it pulled up all the contacts in my command and it auto-applied the tags and just like did it for me. And it told me these people don't have one. It found a dupe and it'll just rock and roll. So look, you find something on the web that you want to do in your CRM, one button, the other, tell BrokerBot what to do. It has the ability to just go do it for you. Now, as we get further along and you have multiple things in here, like some of you are Zillow preferred. I met with a team yesterday that's a Zillow preferred team. And you're like, hey, I got to do all this stuff in Follow Up Boss, but I don't love Zillow owning all my data. So is there a world where you could connect Commissions Inc. and Follow Up Boss, or Command and Follow Up Boss, or Bold Trail and Follow Up Boss? And the really short answer to that is, yeah, that's exactly the idea here. So we wired up Follow Up Boss yesterday, just ahead of this demo. We will be sending out beta invitations. We have it working. And I just went in here and I said, take all the contacts out of Command and put them in FUB. And there you go. Took it about 3 minutes and it just went and it knocked it all out for me. Journey, for a database of thousands of contacts, how is it with handling a massive bulk tag request like DTD2? I don't know. Go give it a shot. Like the reality is we have it right now constrained to doing like 1,000 at a time just to kind of like keep it under control. Okay, so short answer is we will connect to all the CRMs that have scale. So if you're using something that I've never heard of that 9 people use, we probably won't connect to that. What you will hear a bunch of people say is like, well, just use Cloud Cowork or Perplexity Computer and they'll log in and use the internet to like use your CRM. Know that that is a fallacy. Like, yes, they can kind of do it. Yes, Tara, you can connect Command and Google Contacts right now live. Like you can go log in and do that. And in the next few months, all the CRMs are going to block them, same with all the TMSs. And so unless you do it the right way through structured data and an API, it is never going to work the way that you want. And we are doing it all the right way. Sean, put me in touch with somebody at Buffini's company, and I think we could probably get, I think it's called like Referral Maker or something hooked up. So Fob is live. As of today, Dan Caldwell is the only human outside of our company that has access to it. So thanks, Dan, for helping. Um, yeah. So Nicole, the 1,000 limit is something we put in there because we got to pay the LLM to process those things. And so I would be happy to take your credit card and unlock the 1,000 for you. I think that's the short answer. We just don't have a way to do that yet. We will get there. Yes. In fact, we're on a panel with Lofty next month at Inman, Nashville. We're going to figure that out. Nicholas, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we have it artificially capped at 1,000 because we don't want to spend all of our money. Bold Trail, yep, they're on the list. We just haven't got to it yet. I got to call Joe Skousen. All right, I got to keep us moving. No, it does not do dials, and we will not do dials because Mark Hewitt, that is your job to go talk to people. And the reality is, all of the robo-dialer AI stuff you see in the world, guess what? It's getting shut down. The regulation is coming. Outbound robo-dial AI-powered calls and texts, they're going away, buddy. So your job is to make phone calls and talk to people. Our job is to do everything else. You have one job: talk to people and create experiences for them. I know I would love to just get a commission check too and hit go on my AI agent, but our unique ability as humans is to connect with other humans, and we're going to give you more time back so that you can do that. So, Jean-Luc, I don't know if you're messing with me with Top Producer. The last time I did one of these, somebody asked me if we could fax. And I kind of feel like Top Producer is asking me if I can fax. We'll see. If you're serious, let's talk about it. I don't know that anybody still uses Top Producer. Yes, Dan Caldwell, you can fax the Top Producer. That's amazing. Okay, I want to show you all something else really cool. Sorry, I got to keep us going. We sent this a prompt of the week out a while ago, which was this open house flyer generator. Yeah, Brian, you bring up a really good point. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Open house flyer generator. This took you through a prompt. It gave you some things, and then it kicked out a flyer, and the flyer was cool. And like, this is a good thing generally. Like, these are pretty good, actually. I thought that these were like actually really good. I might even use one of these. The problem you run into with these is that you're like, well, now I want to move this logo over an 1/18 of an inch to the left. And that was hard. So we did a deal with Canva. We now have the Canva integration live. And I just went to BrokerBot and I said, cyber insurance codes, ask your insurance person. And I just said, like, hey, create this as an asset in Canva. And boom, it pushes it right into Canva. And so then I hit open an editor and boom, it opens it here. Then I go to edit, I click magic layers, and then look at this. Now I can just edit it, just like a normal thing. So the amazing thing with this is you can go straight from like idea and throw a few photos into it. You get like 80% of the way there because AI is really good at getting 80% of the way there. And then with 2 clicks, I can polish the rest of it. And now we just smashed down a thing that used to take you 2 hours to 5 minutes. That is what we're helping you all build here. By the way, yeah, 10/80/10. That's right, Mark. Canva's live. We're going to be doing Canva and Fub are in the same state. I love that the balloons keep going off. It's really dorky, but I kind of think it's cool. Canva and Fub are in the same state that they're hidden behind what's called a feature flag. So you can't see them here. Yeah, exactly. So we will enable it. So look out if you want to use Canva or you want to use Fub. We will do beta groups in the same way that we have with KW Command. That way we can bring you into a shared Slack with us so that, because these things break when they're brand new and we just need you to know that. And so when it breaks, we can help you unbreak it, okay? So this is coming, this is live. Like I did this live in the tool last night. We have 12 minutes left. and I want to show you all the future of what we're working on. And I'm just looking at my board. I've done a good job getting through everything. The world is changing faster than I've ever seen it change. And what that means is it's faster for us to build technology. What I want to show you all is this. We got a back office IDX feed from the Tucson MLS Monday of this week. It is now Thursday. We ingested, I don't know, like 20,000 listings, and we got it into a test environment. And so if I click through, I can show you how it is. And so what this does is it can go and search the MLS, and we built these little cards. But I want you to just think about the mental map here of now I can say, now create a flyer for that. So it goes, finds the pictures, gets the details from the MLS, and with like one shot, terrible prompt, rips it. Send that to Canva, help me edit it, put it in my brand, or, you know, what are the showing instructions for this house? We'll see if this works live because this is in a preview. Ian's cringing across from me right now because I'm like demoing stuff in a preview. And so when you start to think about what's possible as we integrate like back office data, then, oh, hang on. There you go. I got it. I turned it off. As we integrate back office data, I don't know why my phone is still ringing. Sorry, team. I don't know if y'all can even hear it. You probably can't hear it because the muting is good. So like it just pulls it straight from the MLS. So picture I'm in the car and I'm like, oh man, that customer just called. They want me to show that house. Hey, BrokerBot, can you go pull showing instructions, days on market, tell me all the details, read the spuds that are in the MLS, and then send me a text summary of how to show it. It's amazing. When you start connecting all these different things, it is really amazing what's possible. So we are working on being able to standardize and ingest all the RISO normalized MLSs. Over the next 2 quarters, we will do more and more of this. And so this will unlock the search experience that you're asking about, William, of like, can I ask BrokerBot to find 4-bedroom and 2 bathrooms? It's coming. Today, you can do it by saying go to Zillow. But as we get IDX data in here, it will be able to do that for you, plus a lot more. And so what you're seeing us do here is we're connecting the world. We've signed agreements with some of the large transaction management system providers so that we will be able to write the contract, read the contract, make updates to the contract, review your contracts for compliance, turn those in. And if you see what we've done, yeah, Brian, we're going to get it linked up to Dorify. If you see what we've done in 3 months, imagine what we can do in another 3 to 6 months. Yep. And Sylvia, that's exactly the point. You can literally call on the phone and talk to your command CRM via BrokerBot. But what I want you to understand, our core job for you is to make sure that we keep you on the leading edge of technology. And what that means is that we are constantly evaluating and integrating new models. And so what you've recently heard is a lot of noise about things like Perplexity Computer and OpenClaw and other things like that. And so, yes, Dan, I hope a lot of people have tried texting into BrokerBot and getting it to do something. And if they haven't, can we talk to leads through BrokerBot and have it take notes? Oh my gosh, not yet, but that is how we think our mobile app should be used. And hopefully in the next quarter, we'll get a mobile app out there for you to do that. I want you to take our mobile app on your listing appointments and just set it on the table and let it take notes for you and take all the action items. And then when you leave, it'll be connected to your world. It can go update your CRM, send emails. Yeah, you got it. Y'all are starting to get it. I love it. Now, this is the future. Ian, for the last like 4 months, has been working on this. It is live for us, and it's coming for you. And so you will not see this when you go log in and look for it, but this is the new agent. And you'll see there's a new toggle here called Computer. What this allows us to do is run our version of Perplexity Computer or BrokerBot OpenClaw, whatever you want to call it, where it's a long-running agent in the background, meaning it gets to know you at a very deep personal level. It can take scheduled tasks in the future. It can browse the internet like a human. It can create and generate PDFs, documents, Excel spreadsheets, financial models. It could log into the MLS and enter your listing for you if your MLS allows it. The possibilities with this new computer technology are near limitless. And so what we have done under the hood is we have wired this all up so that when you ask BrokerBot to do things, we can calculate the cost of those things. So like doing all of this advanced staging with Gemini 3.0 cost us like $1.30. And so what we will do when we unlock computer more broadly is we will introduce some sort of usage-based billing so that as computer is just doing work for you in the back end, eventually it'll do so much work that you're spending more money than you're paying us. And we'll just have to ask you to participate as it continues to do that. It's the same way that Perplexity and everything else does it. So Jason, your mind should be blown. If you've used Perplexity Computer, it is one of the coolest pieces of technology that's out there. It's also $200 a month per person just to use it. And I think when you look back in the next quarter, like you've seen how much work we've done now. If you go back and you watch this demo from 3 months ago and you watch one from a year ago, we've made more progress in 3 months than we made in the first 9. And I fully expect that to be true again in the next 3 months. So we will continue to publish updates on everything that's coming in terms of making your workflows easier, making your ability as a leader to like cascade things across your organization easier. Photorealistic image generation, there's a free preview on it because at first it didn't really work right. And we thought like if we put free preview on there that people would complain less when it didn't work right. Genius software idea. It's kind of funny actually. Edit with workflow tiles, ETA.
We can demo that now. Let me send you a link.
Okay, Ian's gonna give me a link so that I can show you. He's been cranking on it. We have 5 minutes left. How are we doing? Like, are you all excited about this? Is it cool? Michelle Ripley, I just received, where did you send me that? Slack?
Yeah,
okay.
DM.
So Michelle, if we haven't unleashed your ability to connect BrokerBot to your FUB
All the way to the bottom.
yet, once we do, then yes, you would do that. Yeah. Q4 this year is going to be unreal. Justin, yeah, I'm excited about this. Okay, Ian sent me a link. You know how I know this is exciting? That we started this meeting an hour ago with only me talking at myself with 100 people, and there's still 100 people here. That's how you know it's exciting. As a small brokerage, this is the best tool to give our agents. I love that. Who said that? Hang on. I can't see your name, and I need to see your name. I lost your name. I lost my Zoom window. Hang on. I got to stop sharing so I can see it. Bobby Brandt. Awesome. Thank you, Bobby. Can I use that as a testimonial? Please say yes. Yes, KW panel is on 331. Jason says retweet. Yeah, Jason, I'm using your testimonial. Thank you both. Okay, last thing I'm going to show you that we'll do some Q&A. So this is what Ian's been working on. So this is the homepage editor. So they'll be able to edit like the text here. You'll be able to customize these workflow tiles and create new ones.
And you'll drag them from the right sidebar and you can move them around and place them.
Oh, okay. So I can drag it from over here into here.
Not quite working yet, but this is a preview of like where we're going.
Yeah. Okay. This is cool. And then if I go up, is there a workflow builder I can show them?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So keep going. That's the workflow builder in its current state.
Yeah.
Go in.
Yeah. So this will give them the ability to change the icon, to name it, to write instructions. So to me, this looks a lot like kind of a custom GPT that they can build and have specific files and folders around. And then so the team admin will be able to share this out. Okay. Yeah. So go up one.
So team admin will have this. You can go in and manage your bundles or your workflows, and then they'll be able to manage, both TLs and owners can manage that.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know if y'all heard that. So both TLs and owners. So you all and I'm just going to use Jason Hamby. So Jason runs a great brokerage in Atlanta, or just outside of Atlanta, across the state of Georgia. And And so at Southern Classic, y'all will be able to come and take your own like file turn-in checklist and just turn it into a clickable thing right here and tell your agents like, hey, when you need to turn a file in, just come click the thing and drop the file in. And it'll follow the way you want it done, which a lot of you have asked for this functionality. So that's coming really soon. Jason, take my money. That's amazing. Matt, if you want to sign up, if you're not already on BrokerBot, just go to brokerbot.ai and you can sign up or click book a demo or Demic. You have my phone number, text me, we'll figure this out. Sean McGrath, if we use OpenClaw down the road, we'll be able to integrate this in our workflows and processes, or we need to create a new user for that purpose.
Well, I would say there's two ways to integrate it. Hey everyone. I'd say there's two ways you can integrate it. And so the first one is you can either port over OpenClaw's memory and skill set, which is our like BrokerBot computer will be compatible with that. And the other way is we're actually going to expose BrokerBot as an MCP tool set that can be integrated in OpenClaw.
So for all of you that are not like super in the weeds trying to figure this out, what that means is we're going to be like forward and backward compatible with other tools on the internet. But where we see our place in space and time is going back to what Brian said, which is regulation is happening quickly. Just last week, California DRE issued a bulletin that says artificial intelligence that acts and performs licensed activities is going to be treated as an unlicensed assistant, and it will be penalized and regulated in the same way that any unlicensed assistant would. And that means that you, the licensee that hires that unlicensed assistant, are responsible for anything that it does. Every state is coming with different regulation. I just read one this morning on how buyer agency is changing in Alabama, and it's different in Virginia. What we are doing is we're building thousands of eval sets so that we can integrate those rules deeply into the machine. We'll be announcing some really awesome national partnerships in the next few weeks. And we're just going to continue building towards being the AI platform of choice for the US residential real estate industry. That's an hour. I hope it was a good hour. And I hope it was a great use of your time. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We will end on time. Yeah, BrokerBot to the moon. I love it. If you think it's good, show some love because our engineers work literally night and day on this stuff. Our CS teams are answering support tickets, like doing the work of 8 people, marketing teams, people ops teams. Like it's a small team, but everybody's cranking. So we're going to keep building awesome stuff. Look out for email invites for the FUB beta, for the Canva beta. For those of you that want to get deeper with us on like connecting this OpenClaw type stuff, shoot us a note and we'll get you into our Slack and we'll get rocking and rolling. Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome Thursday. We appreciate every single one of you.